So hello, welcome back to Fallout 76. My name's Ren. This is my channel. I do a lot of videos on Fallout 76 and some other games that I've acquired over the years in my various purchases on Steam sales and whatnot. Typically, I'll play a game till its end, or I will give you guys a short review of it to show you, what it's like, even though I might have played it for 100 hours, or maybe I've only played it for around 50. But the point is to give you a rough idea if it's worth buying or not whenever I review a game, because typically, like I said, I'm buying them on sale because I don't get games donated to me, and I don't have companies handing me titles to review. Bethesda has been primarily what my channel has been about for years. I've made hundreds of videos on this game, on the way that it works, on the way that it doesn't work, on camps, on building things, on people enjoying it. On PC, this game is pretty much dying off. And the reason why it's dying off isn't because the game itself is horrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have made some pretty bad fucking mistakes in this game. Everything from changing the way weapons works, to changing the way cards works, to getting rid of certain weapons so they can reintroduce versions of them that they built to pay for you to pay for, which is essentially what they did with the cremator and the legacy weapons that it replaced. Changing the way the math works to make damage calculations easier versus actually improving the game. And changing the way, the game functions overall versus actually fixing it. Instead of trying to attract new players, they've done everything they can to monetize what little player base that they have on whatever platform you are on, to leech as much money out of you as humanly possible. I have personally had Fallout First since the beginning of Fallout First because I thought it was cool to have the ability and to store extra items, and it is cool. I shouldn't have to pay for it, but it's cool, and the tents were cool, and the overall game itself has been something that I have enjoyed for years. So, why am I making this video? Why am I here at this point? Well, the simple truth is, I love this game. I love Fallout in general. I hate the fact that they are breaking it continuously. I hate the fact that they make me a liar every time that I tell someone, hey, it's a fun game, you should try it. Because it is, for a certain amount of time, a fun game, and then they come back in and they edit and try and improve it in some fashion versus doing the easy things. And here lately, they have gone out of their way to really piss me off. Everything from making it so that you can buy levels in the game whenever you first start, because you can start off at level 25, or you can buy something in the atomic shop that'll get you to level 50 instantaneously. Now, the problem with that is, and it's not a real problem for somebody that's played the game before, for a new player that has never played this game before, they learn most of the stuff they need to learn between levels 1 and level 25. A lot of the adventure that they have, the fun stuff that makes this game feel like you belong in it and makes it immersive, happens between level 1 and level 50. Once you hit level 50, you can build a character out for pretty much anything. You're able to choose your own cards, modify stats real easily, and all that stuff. It used to be, in order for you to change one of your stat points around, you had to sacrifice a level advancement and move a stat point. That was when the game actually had difficulty to it. So, I'm going to tell Bethesda right now this. I gave up my Fallout first on all of my accounts. I only have 2, by the way. I have 9 characters in total that I have played on this game. Each account gives you 5. At one point, I needed a second account to store materials. Now, that is not necessary because, well, in all honesty, you can break down everything that you get, and eventually you'll learn all of the mods that you want, and you can just make the mods that you want for your guns, in theory. I think since that became an option in game, because I didn't bother to grind for it, and I didn't bother to try and force my characters to learn those things, I think that I have learned a grand total of 4 of them on average on each of my characters, if I remember correctly. I think one of them might have 5. But it doesn't really matter to me because I don't really give a shit. Because I'm okay with getting randomly uh, generated weapons, and then if I need to get a mod from something or for something, I can always ask one of my friends who happens to have the ability to manufacture said mod, what's required. I'll pay you for it. This game is not being treated as what it is. This game is, for all intents and purposes, Bethesda has continually not understood what this game is to the people that play it. And because of that, they have broken down those players, and they have lost a lot of said players over the years. Because, in point of fact, this game is a community. Weird, huh? There's a community about a game. And the Bethesda, now Xbox, Microsoft to be exact, doesn't quite understand that. Sony understands that. Sony tried to build a community in their game world with their Sony Home project, which allowed you to place a virtual house on your hard drive, and you could build it out, and each time you won a game, or you could put little trinkets in it, if you remember that back in the day. It didn't really go off. It has the potential to go off more now than it did then, because of the advent of VR being what it is. And you could actually, in theory, sit on your couch and watch a movie with your friends that Sony has given you access to, or that your Fandango account has given you access to, if they set it up properly. But that's a different story. See, the reason why I bring up Sony is because whenever Microsoft acquired Xbox, or I guess I should say Xbox acquired Bethesda, one of the games that was on the chopping block was this game. It didn't get cut because Sony wanted it for the PS Now network. And at the time, PS Now was being considered a rival for the Xbox network, which is why on PS Now you can't get Minecraft. But you can on the Xbox network. Now, Sony and Xbox have came to some understanding where in the future you'll be able to get the Xbox Live games to function on your Sony machine, because effectively what's going on with the next generation of hardware is that, well, they are building computers, they are not building gaming systems. And Sony and Xbox are going to make it so that you have to continuously be online to play any of their titles. Steam kind of beats that because Steam has an offline mode for any game that you play, and has an offline mode in general. If you're wondering why I have all these lights out around me, it's because at the beginning of this video, well, it was a rainstorm and it was nighttime and you couldn't see anything, so lights. If you're wondering why my character is standing up here on top of this thing, I was going to originally do a build video where I would speed build an entire base inside of this thing in under an hour. I have since scrapped that idea, at least for now. But the reason why I don't really want to play this game anymore is because every time I play it, it feels like every time they update it, they break it in a fashion that makes it worse to play for somebody like me who's been playing it the entire time. I can tell Sony how to, well, let me rephrase that. I can tell Bethesda how to fix this simply. How you can fix your game in a fashion that will allow you to not have to screw with cards after you make a final reset and set the cards to whatever desired functionality you want. How you'll never have to touch the cards again, because what you'll do is, instead of screwing with the cards and screwing with the weapons and screwing with the balance because people want a more difficult or less difficult game, all you have to do is put one slider in the game that is a difficulty slider for the player. You can have it set and use whatever terms you want, everything from hell mode to dweller mode. You can have it set however you want. You can use whatever terms you want. All you need is a low, a medium, and a high. And what that is your difficulty settings. And why do you need those? Well, if you set it to high difficulty, well, all of a sudden, those things that you're eating through, it's like you're level 1. Because all of your cards that balance out your character, that make your character able to do damage, well, those are all nerfed. And it's only nerfed for you. It's not nerfed for everybody else. It's only nerfed for the person that selects it. Dweller mode makes it easy as hell to play. You can play it for hours under that mode. And I suggest, and the reason why I'm going to say this, is what I suggest doing is have the first 50 levels locked in at like the first 10 levels. You have the low setting so the character advances faster. The second 10 levels you have the medium setting, and the third level, and by the time you hit level 25 you have access to the slider in full and you can adjust it however you want. The idea is to make it slightly more difficult as the game progresses without actually altering the game for everybody that plays it, and for allowing people that just want to be able to run around and blow shit up to run around and blow shit up. The other problem with this game is the engine, and I've said this a million times, and I know that you can't fix the engine's dynamic rendering and all that other shit without actually taking it into another, well, engine, to be honest. It can be done, but Bethesda doesn't want to spend the time doing it. Microsoft doesn't really want to pay to do it because, again, this game is on its dying cycle, even with a new TV show out, even with new seasons coming out for it. It's dying, and the reason it's dying is because these idiots don't know how to actually do anything in it to make it work better. Instead of harnessing the power of this engine and harnessing the items that are already here that builders want to buy, oh, we're just throwing in new stuff. You know what? You can throw in new stuff all you want. Nobody really gives a shit. To be honest, you could throw in new stuff every single day. Nobody gives a shit. All you got to do is take the stuff that already exists in the game, in the engine itself, and make those things buyable in the atomic shop. Why do you want those? Well, they just want to be able to decorate with heads in jars, beer bottles, body parts. Who cares? Dead fish, clapping monkeys, you name it. That's all they really want. So Bethesda, in their infinite wisdom, would rather give you a vault and give you a bunch of other crap. In all honesty, if you're going to give us new stuff, give it to us in one bundle. If you're going to make stuff available from the in-game items that are in here, do it. You're just screwing around at this point, and you're screwing around with stuff that's just going to piss off the people that actually buy this shit. And here's another thing. It should not cost me more than $8 for any suit of power armor. For any skin for power armor. It should not cost me more than $8 for any shelter, in my opinion. It should not cost me more than a Fallout First subscription gives me in atoms for anything in the Atomic Shop, unless it's a mega bundle. And putting 5 items in a bundle and calling it a deal is like sticking your head up your ass and trying to whistle Dixie. It can be done, but you have to have that certain mindset that only the corporate understand. So, and here's how you fix bugs. Every time you bring in new content, bugs are generated in this game. So here's what you do. You finish the content that you've already got that you've been working on and haven't actually finished yet. You finish those, and you eliminate a whole tree of bugs that were brought in by that content to begin with. That's how you fix the bugs. Because there are certain bugs in this game that are tied to certain levels or integration of content that have been brought into this game that have not been finished. So the bugs persist. Everything from floating items to whole screwed up quest lines that, yeah, you can patch, but why don't you just fix it? I mean, really fix it. Finish it. And if this game is dying like I think it is, try actually doing something with it that makes people want to play it. But I understand. That's beyond the scope of what they're allowed to do. Because this game is a game that is built on the auspice that it is being ran by committee. And the truth is, no game ran by committee is ever going to last for a long time. You have to have a director, you have to have somebody that's in charge, and you have to let them actually do their damn job. But hey, I could be wrong. I'm not. And we all know it. But hey, Bethesda's going to smoke their own assholes. It's just the way it is. They're going to stroke the egos of everybody that's there. They're going to pretend that they know what the hell they're doing. And the sad part is that they have people that are modders out there that know how their engine works better than the people that actually work there. That's the reason why you have 14 years of Skyrim. Skyrim is their most successful game ever. Do you know why it's their most successful game ever? Because the people that made it knew what the hell they were doing. Do you know why Fallout 76 isn't? And Fallout 4 isn't? Because they didn't have the writers that actually were allowed to write. If you're not allowed to tell a story, you can't actually put it in a game. And if you don't know how to write to begin with, well, you're going to keep it simple, stupid. People don't want simple. People want complex stories that evolve over time. Oh, this is an MMO. It is and it isn't. There's too many single-player events that exist in this game. And eventually, when this game does die, I hope Bethesda's smart enough to just release its code to the people that bought it and let them actually play it and do what they want to do with it and run it on their own machines. But I have this bad feeling that they're not going to be smart enough to do that. Because then you'll have a modding scene that'll come up with it. And Fallout 76, well, it'll have mods. And those mods will make the game a billion times better than what it is now. Because you'll have mod makers that can build quests, finish quests, and repair bugs. Improve the graphics, improve the textures, improve the damn game in general. I mean, that's what happened with Skyrim and Fallout 4 and every other game that Bethesda's ever put out that had a graphic engine that could run it. They've tried to make the games better, and they have made the games better in many cases. They've added factions, added things that Bethesda just was too lazy to do. They've added stories, they've added whole quest lines, some that have been stolen by Bethesda for their other games, some that have been stolen by Bethesda for the games themselves that they're putting out now. But they have never, and they have never really understood their own player base. And I think that's one of their fundamental flaws. Yeah, everybody likes an exploration game. They like an open world game. They like quests. They like to be the hero in their stories. They also like a certain level of difficulty in combat. And Fallout 4 was probably the closest to an actual combat system that they actually had. And they incorporated that in with this game here. But it's still not perfect. It's still not a real combat engine. And you can do so much better with other game systems. Other game engines, I suppose. There are developers out there that do so much better with far less. And the amount of manpower that Bethesda commits to making just one of these games is kind of retarded. Because even though they have all that manpower focused on making a game without a really good director to give them directions and tell them what they want and make sure that they do the things they would need to do, you get what you got here with Starfield. You get a game that comes out and you get NPCs that float up into the ceiling and things that just don't work quite right. And things that work beautifully, like their Starship design thing. It works great, but their actual bases that you set up, well, they kind of blow ass. And then you also have this other little problem, which is that no matter what you do in that game, you're still playing Skyrim in space. Because they didn't give you what everybody wanted. They built a NASA punk simulator, which nobody asked for, and they didn't put any aliens into it because that would involve writing talent. So what you got was a space simulator in a box that basically is effectively Load Door Simulator 2.0, which was effectively what Fallout 3 was whenever it came out. Because you'd travel for a bit, and then you'd hit a load door, and then you'd have to go through it to come up to the next section, and then you'd go through it, and then you'd get into another little fight, and you'd go through another load door, and go through that, and then you might meet an NPC that you can talk to, or you'd have to fight some more, and then go through the next load door so you can get to the next section. It was a process. Such a process. That's what you call brilliant game design and well thought out plots and strategies. Yeah. So, anyway, my point is this. Bethesda, you suck. Microsoft, hire somebody that actually knows what the fuck they're doing and go through and gut Bethesda from their IPs. Because the IPs are where the money's at, not the actual company. In conclusion, fuck the Atomic Shop and all the bullshit that they've been doing with it. It's all a money grab, and it's all so damn dumb. It's amazing as hell that people are still tolerating this bullshit. Oh, and I figured out a long time ago that I was never going to be a spokesman for Bethesda games. Because in all honesty, I actually am honest with what I feel and think about them. And I don't have a problem saying that they can choke on their chicken bones. Swear to God, they're retarded. They got too big for their britches because the guy that really ran the company, that actually loved the company, well, he died. Imagine that. Anyway, you guys have fun with the game as much as you can. I'm going to cancel off, like I said, my Fallout First stuff is already canceled off. I'm going to say if you're in the build contest, go ahead and send me some videos, or at least links to what you're trying to do. If you're not in the build contest, congratulations. Um, and if you would like to play something else, hit me up. I'm on Discord. I'm more than happy to answer any questions on my YouTube channel if you have them. And I tend to make my own music because I'm at that point where making music is more fun than, well, this. I am at the point where I hate logging into this game. And not because it's a bad game, because I still love the game. I just am getting tired of having to change my shit every other time I log in. Because, you know, I'll log in, they'll have, oh, we changed these cards. We changed these weapons. Okay. Next time I log in, oh, we had a bug with that. We had to fix that, so we had to change it all back this other way. Okay. Log in again. That bug is not related to what we fixed. We have another bug that's this way this time, so we got to change it all again. Oh my god. You would think that they would just hire people that know what the hell they're doing. All they have to do to make this a good game is really finish the content that they have in it. You want to add more content? Finish the stuff you got first. Sit down and really look at the bugs and fix the damn shit. I know that, you know, Conan Exiles is a lousy game to use as a reference, but at least they tried to fix the shit. I mean, they're having issues with Dune because, like this game, well, like every MMO really, they have a staggered development schedule and they're bringing out additional materials for it. And Dune, although when it started off it was a great game, has gotten progressively worse with each iteration and each modification that they have made to it, kind of like this one did. Imagine that. So, have fun. And enjoy this for as long as you can. If you haven't managed to finish the scoreboards, well, go ahead and do that. And I will talk to you guys next Tuesday when I do the next Atomic Shop review and tell you how bad the shit in there is again. It was nice. It's always going to be. I'll be here as long as the game runs because I'm stupid. I'm just not going to spend any more money on it. I can't justify it. I can't justify spending money on something that is so terrible. And thank you all.